Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hey there, my name is Faraz Muhammad. I'm a PhD student here at the University of Georgia. And tonight I want to speak with you all a little bit about sampling as it pertains to qualitative research. So let's jump right into it. We're going to try to keep the video up under 5 minutes, so I want to hurry up and get straight to it. So let's talk about a working definition of the term sampling. As agreed upon by many scholars, as I listed here down below, Cresswell, Maxwell, and Schwant, sampling can be considered the decisions made regarding where your research will take place and with whom your research will take place with. And essentially you can say that that's pretty much the crux of sampling. As I personally always say as a Phariseeism, that sampling is essentially the heart of rigorous qualitative research. And the reason why I say that is going to become a bit clearer as we continue throughout the duration of this presentation. So how do you go about sampling, or who do you sample? How do you figure out these things? And it's all contingent upon purpose. The purpose of your research drives your sampling just as well as the purpose drives research just in general. Let's look at it from that way, or frame it that way. And also contingent upon the research methodology that you might be utilizing would also dictate what kind of sampling you might be doing. For an example, look at the first one here, case study. Case study, based on that, consider studying one type of a setting or one type of people, place, understanding that type of phenomena. Your sample is going to pretty much be considered smaller as opposed to, let's say, a narrative. If you utilize a narrative methodology where narrative is designed to essentially provide voice to marginalized populations of people, while the sample size is considered to be small, it's larger than that being of a case study. So let's continue to go forward here. There are typically two types of sampling that most scholars agree upon. That's probability and non-probability. Probability is more so concerned with it's designed to get an accurate representation of a larger population, and it's also often referred to as random sampling. And we're going to discuss why that is later as we get into some of the examples that I'm going to provide at the end of this video. Non-probability, which is more so common in qualitative research, usually have about 4 different types. And that's convenience sampling, quota sampling, judgmental, and snowballing. Convenience sampling is just how it sounds pretty much. Your sample is contingent upon what's convenient, what you have easy access to. Throughout research, sometimes you don't have the resource to interview different types of people or settings and things of that nature. So sometimes you have to rely upon what's considered convenient. Let's look at snowball sampling, which is also referred to as network sampling, and that's just how it sounds. You start off with someone within the network, and your sample size continue to grow and develop contingent upon the relevance of your study. So let's get into some examples, or try to be brief with this. So if your research is pertaining to trying to discover the average height of black males in Georgia, then you will be more so concerned about having an accurate representation of a population, because you want to see about black males in Georgia. That's a whole population, but you want to try to have an understanding of what's the average height. So you get a sample of black males, because you can't find all the black males in Georgia. We're not going to say it's impossible, but the resources it would take, the time, the money, the expenses, you may be not willing to incur, or you might not it may not be possible for you. So based on that, you want to try to do random sampling, stopping average black males, calling, whatever type of outlet you utilize to go about trying to get a fair representation of black males in Georgia. And from that point, once you crunch your data, you can discover what's the average height of black males, or make a generalization of what that might be. If you were studying something similar to, like, say, the educational resilience of black males from inner cities, then you want to try to figure out, you'll be doing more so of a non-probability, which is the relevance. So you'll be more so concerned with, okay, what type of resilience of inner cities am I looking at? What type of black males should I be discovering? What kind of locations? And so you want to find out the convenience sampling and other things that's more so related to the relevance of your study, and you're not really trying to get a accurate representation or a depiction of a large population. You're focused on something very, very specific. And so the reason as a Phariseeism, as I said earlier, why sampling is considered to be the heart of qualitative research, is because your sample will dictate what type of data you collect. And if you don't sample properly, then you will have a bad data set. And that's bad because everything that follows thereafter what also you will find to be problematic, such as your analysis, your findings, your conclusion, etc. So you want to make sure you're very careful and have a rich understanding of sampling as it pertains to engaging in research. Thank you. I hope this video has been helpful. And feel free to have if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to contact me on my email at muhammad@uga.edu. Just real briefly, if you want some farther books that you can rely upon, this here is Maxwell. This here is another good book from Cresswell. I relied upon some of these books in addition to Schwant, in addition to Understanding Research by Newman. So hopefully some of these resources will help you in addition to the video. If you have any other questions, please feel free to follow up. Thank you. I'm Faris Muhammad. Have a nice evening.